Mr. John Carpenter, John, JC, your father of Halloween. Except, I know him for his remake of Village of the Damned. You know, that movie where alien children murder half of a town with their glowing eyes. Let's rewind. The original Village of the Damned was a film released in 1960 and was based off the John Wyndham novel The Midwich Cuckoos, published 3 years prior. Carpenter's remake of the movie was released in 1995 with nearly the same plot, just Americanized, more modern, and some added special effects. Oh, and there's Christopher Reeves. The author of The Midwich Cuckoos, Wyndham, wrote various novels about societal struggle and collapse. This story, though, is unique, showing how human conflict and technology will destroy the world, and that catastrophe could occur at any time, or indeed at this very moment in the village next to you. Carpenter's Village of the Damned starts with the portrayal of a perfect town. If you've ever seen the TV show Lost, imagine the neighborhood that the others lived in. It's too perfect at first glance. To start the film, the entire town gathers to set up a school fair, and everyone seems to know everyone. The women are gorgeous, and predictably, the population's 99% white. That's all great until it hits 10 a.m. and everyone, including the animals, pass out spontaneously, but only within the town limits. After a 4-hour unconscious siesta, they all wake up, confused, scared. Oh, and there's a guy who died while grilling. Anyways, the town does the standard and calls the feds. After time passes, 10 women find out they're pregnant, but all with the same conception date, being the same day as the event. What's even more odd is one gal was a virgin. Anyways, the town goes nuts, and more fed doctors come to town to deliver them. The kids grow extremely fast and clearly of high intelligence, but they look odd with silver hair and have fits of rage that make their eyes glow. Not long after that, the parents and neighbors realize the kids, or as they are now called, the children, use their glowing eyes to force people to take their own life.
I don't agree with you. I think that adaptation is the key to survival. Cooperation and symbiosis and compassion.
Why do you think your own survival depends upon emotion from us? Should we pity you? Empathize with your plight?
You should feel! You should feel something!
The production of Village of the Damned in 1960 is horrifying, but not as horrifying as this remake by Carpenter in 1995. Carpenter's take hits closer to home with more realism and relatability to the 21st century, such as couples being given the option to abort the alien children, but don't for the money allowance. There's more self-mutilation at the hands of the children, and there's more content on the phenomenon of being invaded and impregnated that couldn't be used back in the 60s due to censorship, especially the idea of demonic virgin births. After rewatching this film again and again, it seems to me that The Midwich Cuckoos, and in turn The Village of the Damned, is heavily influenced on Wyndham's experiences during World War II and in combat, an opinion that hasn't been mentioned too much in journals and reviews. Instead, the common audience seems more focused on the theme of hopelessness in the unknown. I believe Wyndham's book is insulting the use of technology, and he mastered the anticipation of the rise in genetic and weapon engineering, two things that are terrifying but very real in present day. Carpenter did a great job bringing this to life. In the film, the women are impregnated by what can be assumed as extraterrestrials or other beings. The children grow fast and have silver hair and glowing eyes. They can also read people's minds, often forcing them to harm themselves when the children take offense. Ultimately, these shiny, new, and unnatural children with Nazi-like platinum hair are comparable to artillery and bombs used in World War II. JC also included motifs like the clock to show that something Wary's been accruing over a period of time, much like the war, something honorable to the author Wyndham. Eventually, the children, the source of the conflict, are killed by an explosive bomb in both the book, original film, and in Carpenter's remake, which cannot be coincidental in relation to World War II and the U.S. use of explosives on their foreign enemies.
We have become accustomed to the power of science. So when we were struck down, we turned to science and asked why. But it could not answer.
Unfortunately, this 1995 film got 29% on Rotten Tomatoes and 27% from viewers, and the viewers' rating probably heavily relied on the fact that Reeves, aka Handsome Superman, was a lead, but I think JC made a larger impact on the audience than anyone anticipated. The film ends tragically while still satisfying to the viewer, and a major lesson learned is to be wary of new technology and how loss affects those left behind.